Now, by anybody's standards, Craig Phillips is a real man. He was the winner of the first ever Big Brother in 2000. He opened in 2005 the largest independent construction training academy in the Northwest and has now seen 1,000 graduates pass through its doors. He writes a weekly column for the Mirror called Mr. DIY. He's presented such shows as 60-Minute Makeover, House Call in the Country, Builders, Sweat and Tears, Our House, Trading Up, Big Strong Boys, Boys in the Wood. This is beginning to sound like porn. But it seems that these are all practical do-it-yourself, if you'll forgive the pun, shows. Currently filming 2 new TV shows, one of which is teaching women how to improve their DIY. Now, there's a good idea. Craig has come on tonight to help me explore the question, what is a man? And I'm very, very grateful to him for that. Craig, welcome.
Good evening, George.
What are you doing indoors at this time of night? You should be out partying, a man with your celebrity.
I know. I should be enjoying the fireworks, George, but I've just checked into my hotel because the 2 new shows that you just mentioned then, we're doing a rehearsal tomorrow morning and then we're shooting it on Sunday.
What is that? Big Strong Boys and Boys in the Wood?
No, the 2 new ones.
Oh, I see, the women in DIY, yeah, excellent.
That's right, yeah.
So where are you shooting them?
They're in Newport in Shropshire. The one show where my old house is in Newport. I used to live here 10 years ago in the Midlands, and I've got a huge big workshop where we do training in there now. So we're training up various families, and we've got them all coming over on the Sunday. So we're just doing rehearsals of what tasks we're going to take them through. I teach them up to a level, send them back home. They do the job at home, and then I come round and inspect it and see which one's the winner.
Marvellous. And when does this go out, and on what station?
It's April next year, and it's going to be UK TV.
Okay, well, we'll make a note in the diary, and we'll talk to you again at the time when that comes out. I just thought you would be the perfect man to kick off this debate.
Okay.
You are a traditional man, a man from the past. Do you think that the skills, the attitude, the way of life that you have is something that is disappearing from our society? Do you think men like you are coming along less and less often now? And if so, is that a bad thing?
Well, I think the men with practical skills sadly are fading away, George. Yes, as you know, in the last 20 years, you know, the colleges and schools have pushed the young men into more of, sort of IT and things like that, and, you know, professional jobs, doctors, nurses. And of course, we need all of that, but we also got to not forget that we need practical skills as well. You know, there's more people living in our country than there ever has been, that we need more houses built all the time, and every house that's built needs to be serviced and maintained because everybody needs somewhere to live. So I think, sadly, yeah, the lack of skills are dying away. That's why my idea of opening the skills centre back in about 2003 now, we got it opened in 2005, was to just try and pull, you know, more kids who were struggling a little bit at school with, you know, more of the theory side of things and IT, and just put them onto more practical skills like brickwork, carpentry or plastering.
You see, I so agree with every word of that. I used to be the only member of Parliament who could make a tyre, who could make a ZX radial, because I started out working in Michelin tyres. And I used to joke that I'm the only MP that can make a tyre. Most MPs can't even change one. And and isn't that true? That most people wouldn't know in fact, most people would know how to get the bonnet up on the car. Never mind what to do with your head in it once you actually got it open. When things like central heating and so on break down, most people will sit in the cold for 2 days until the engineer calls. Hardly anybody knows how to do these things anymore, and that's got to be bad for society as well as bad for men.
Yes, absolutely true. It could be something as simple as a little bit of air blockage in a pipe, like just bleeding. You know, one radiator, which anyone is capable of doing that if they can use their hands, and all of a sudden they wouldn't have to be sitting in the cold for 2 days.
And your wife tells you that something's gone wrong with the central heating, and instead of getting your tools out and trying to fix it yourself, you say, well, we better phone another man. who's probably foreign, who's probably a foreign guest worker, because you're absolutely right. You know, I was down at the Olympic site just the other week, and I was trying to find a British working man on the site, and there were few and far between. And it's not because we're being flooded by foreigners. It's because we don't have enough people trained in these trades and skills that want to work for the wages that are available there.
That's right. Sadly, there has been. Yeah, I mean, I welcome, you know, any foreigners to come into our country and work here if they're bringing a skill that, you know, we haven't got. I mean, there are still many tradesmen out in Britain, but there just isn't enough for the demand of maintenance and building work that is out there.
And there's no contradiction, is there, between being able to bleed a radiator or change a fan belt and being able to properly relate to your children and your wife and be a good family man, be sensitive. There's no reason why you can't be both. No,
not at all. You know, having the practical skills to manage around the house, I feel, you know, is as good as communicating skills in this day and age. I heard an article on the radio the other week that was saying about the young kids, the Scouts kids coming up to be footballers, because they're at home now playing on computer games. They're not out in the park kicking a ball around. Like I was a kid, and I'm sure when you were a kid, George...
I was in the street. We didn't have parks, Craig.
That's right.
I was in the street.
Yeah, that's it, just kicking a ball against the wall. But you developed, you know, football skills that way. Now the kids are at home playing them on a computer game. They're not getting any physical exercise, common sense, or they're lacking the social skills as well.
You're absolutely right. I knew you were the right choice for this. That's Craig Phillips. The best of luck with your 2 new shows.
Thank you very
Craig.
much, George. Pleasure talking to you.
When I saw that you'd made Big Strong Boys and Boys in the Wood, I was getting the wrong impression. but you've set me right. All the best to you, Craig. Thanks very much, mate.
All the very best.
All the best to you, pal. 08717 2233 44. What'd you think of that? What makes a real man?